Hi everyone, my name is Minna Crichton. I'm the original of my case. I'm paralegally doing all the legal documents and the administrative research for my case. I am also self-litigating and self-representing my cases at the High Court, District Courts, and just have actually been through the whole process. So today is the 17th of January 2025. All the evidence on my YouTube channel is called Authentic Ingenuity Entrepreneur. It's a real life personal testimony and also real life court case about myself. So today's video clip, I'm going to continue with the evidence because of the processes I'm going through. Here's my identity. Just quickly go through that. And so what I'm actually going through is definitely a discrimination blacklisted system. And we're dealing with internal corruption mostly. And also linking with the public. So this is me. I'm also the victim in this whole case. Well, really, in reality, I am the victim, but I have never acted like the victim. But in saying that, it's been quite traumatizing. With the experiences I've been through. In reality, the victim overrides anything, but I felt that I'm strong enough to deal with this legally and publicly after everything I've been through. So what you're seeing right here is two double-decker buses. If you're following me also on my Facebook page, a lot of the posts are actually from my point of view of what I see. So we're dealing with psychological illusions. We're dealing with a system that is one-sided evidence. Whoever is behind it, whoever's doing the controlling and the manipulating. And in this case, it's corporate bodies versus myself as the individual. So the case itself, it is a criminal case of Category 4, and it is to do with corporate bodies or body corporate, either or. And now I can actually confirm it's definitely been a trafficking ring historically. So basically, the posts that I put on my Facebook page and what I've used in my video clips is my way of explaining from my point of view of what I've gone through and in relation to the why we have laws. Okay, it's also an interpretation of what the law applies to my case and for me in this matter, who's actually the victim and also the person that's self-representing herself in the courts. Now, first of all, before I continue, keeping in mind that the court services is part of the services has to be that, everything is the foundation and the constitution of any government or any corporate body or any organisation or company or individual is a member, is the entity, is that they are acting with honesty and integrity. So in this matter that I'm going through, I now am a witness to a demolition of a human being historically. So what it means from my point of view is that I've been discriminated. People have dug up my past and they've used me like an object. Also twinned to somebody, but they've taken turns doing it historically, and now I can actually prove that that is the case in my case historically. So what I'm going to focus on today is mainly what are we doing? Let's see. We're going to focus on the evidence, but I feel because the case is a criminal case, I need to go back to the judgments back in 2000 and made by Judge Chalice. Let's just have a look. But before we do that, I just want to this is what the system is now. The system is, it's run by corporate bodies, having hub desks and having call centers. So that is the experience of what I've gone through historically. Basically, I do feel like I've been exiled, locked out, and blocked. However, I can now confirm my case historically that when I was working for my employer, which is the Ministry of Justice, well, first it was Department of Courts. I started. There was no such thing of what I'd gone through, but when the system transitioned to the Ministry of Justice, I can now confirm that I was actually trafficked by force while I was working in my environment, while I was working for my employer, and that is the case. So when it was time for them to actually push me out of my job, I had become immune and used to the abuse while I was working for my employer. But now that I'm actually pushed out, I'm now able to be on the other side and try and clear the medical records, the real serious injustice and wrongdoing that's happened to me. So now I'm like outside trying to clear everything. But this is what it looks like globally. Okay, because they've actually centralized the courts, they've centralized the government. So now, from my personal experience, this can happen to anybody. Well, it happened while I was working for my employer, and I can actually prove that just with my personal profile and the evidence that while I was working, people were actually doing unlawful acts upon me. While I was working for my employer, they were retrieving information and making connections with people in my private life. Explains the reason why everything it is today. But this is what it looks like for all the body corporates nowadays. They have call centers, and now they've cut out where people can actually have a one-on-one consultation with anybody. Well, that's what's happened to me personally, which I find is really serious, right? For all the wrong reasons. One, it's easy to steal somebody's entity or identity, and be used for money laundering purposes, or basically anything really. And this is what's happened to me. But this is what it looks like. This includes the banks. But I can actually undo everything. So what you will be seeing today is I'm just going to quickly run through who were the judges, and I'm going to keep this clip short. I'm doing things as I feel that's the direction I've got to go with my case on social media. But what I will focus on today is the Ministry of Health case and the judgments. Okay, so this is the first judgment, and also I will be kind of pointing out what I have found wrong with this judiciary system, with this whole court system, with the government system that's gone globally. It's really dangerous. It needs to be abolished. Okay. And what I put on my Facebook page, they are turning individuals like a robot. They are monitoring and using us like a compass. That's what they've done to me. And then they're doing their switching, but it is inhumane. It is literally inhumane. But before I do that, I just hold on a moment. I just want to quickly just go over this law here before I quickly go over the evidence. So my case, I can definitely confirm, I've actually brought this to the attention of the judge in court, that my case is where I have actually been animated or inanimated. So if you look at what that actually means, it's like somebody that's well, they're basically stealing my energy. They're stealing everything about me. They're living off my energy. They're living off my resources. They're stealing my intellectual property. They're pretending to be me. And this is where, when I go out and people are glued to me, but they're using different people all the time. This is absolutely serious. There's nothing in the legislation that allows any government system to be run like that, whether it's internal or even out in public. Okay, it's illegal. It's under the Crimes Act, this law, and it's for let me just have a look. There you go. It's under crimes against the person. So everything that has happened to me has happened personally, intimately. They've just used different people. So this law here clearly talks about duty of persons in charge of dangerous things. So this is when the people in government who are perverting the course of justice, who refuse to interact and intervene and investigate, and that's why we have laws. So but this is the scientific experiment that my job, or what happened while I was working for my employer. I knew that what was happening, and I know every single secret. So the case is definitely a trafficking in persons case, and now I understand why it is 20 years imprisonment, because it's so personal, it's intimate, and they're committing the crime and deleting evidence in the moment. So people are doing all this, and then they leave the crime scene, and then another person can easily be set up for the crime. So that is what this comes under, duty of persons in charge of dangerous things. So my case also falls under this definite recklessness, negligence. Everything's intentional. I'm supposed to be unknown. Everybody knows about me. I'm the project, or whatever they want to call it. But all my videos confirms this law. And so the other thing I have found, I'm the original. The other person who has been used, they're the ones who receive all the benefit. They're the ones who are pretending and faking and deceiving the public. All right? So I'm actually the original, and they've also used me for relationship scam, and they're doing the twinning and the switching, even with the documents. And unfortunately, what you're going to be witnessing, or have witnessed on my channel and Facebook page, is an intimate case of illegal scientific experiment by heaps of people, and then that stealing somebody else's life, and then they switch, and they are making money out of it, whether they're stealing people's tax invasion, or for example, I was the CEO for a hip hop group. That was my idea. I legalized it. That was worth a lot of money, but it was out of my control. They stole that. They switched. They stole that. They keep me pinned down. They had other people keeping me pinned down. They had people in my space receiving my calls in my space, but my family didn't. Everybody that knew me didn't know that I was actually in danger, and they were in danger. I knew I was in danger, but what could I do about it? I couldn't do anything about it. But that is what they've done. Historically, they've used me for money laundering, and they have switched. They stole everything. They can make up all their excuses and their lies, but I can actually prove legally in court that I haven't broken any laws or anything. I'm not unlawful anyone. But anyway, I will continue now with the evidence. But what you will witness, and what I'm going to point out, I feel this has been on my heart, is talking about the first judgment made by Judge Chalice, all right? Because this is now a criminal case, and I've actually pressed criminal charges against the Ministry of Health. Now, this judgment alone, I believe, is a good starting point just to quickly go over, and I will be just quickly viewing and pointing out some of the things that I felt was really important, and even an expert wouldn't be able to pick this up because it's not their case. This is my case. I know where the evidence is, and it's easy for me to retrieve it or point it to where it is, okay? So the case, this one here, is a case against the Ministry of Health and City Med, and the first reserve judgment of Judge J. Chalice, right? So the hearing itself, I'll just quickly bring up my spreadsheet. I actually have a spreadsheet of everything in this for all my cases. If you not see that. These are all the charges that I've done, but I'll just carry on with this. Hang on, I'm just trying to find the sheet for it. Here. So what I'm going to be going through today, and I'm going to try and keep this one short, is the Judge Chalice's judgment, okay? So the court taker for this case was Robin Minto Harioso. Sorry if I pronounced that incorrectly. And the actual hearing itself was on the 27th of February 2017. It was held at Waitakere District Court. Okay, so these are the things I felt that had an issue with the case. Okay, now I can confirm the case is sabotaged. The other thing I found, so there's a mistake error here. Okay, somebody had typed the 1st of March 2017. So what you'll be witnessing is organised crime on documentation. Okay, keep in mind, my privacy is gone. They have studied me historically. I knew I was being subject to something out of my control. The other thing that was wrong about this order was because of the amendment. The judge didn't write the amendment statement of claim that I paid for, advised by the court through the court process. It passed the court process and everything, but the judge has written just this person's name here. Okay, the judgment was also released on the 10th of May. So another problem I found with this judgment was the length of time it took for it to be written by the judge. See, it's 1st of March she's put, but the actual hearing is actually the 27th of March. And I've just said the court taker. I know where the courtroom it happened. But all this information is actually really relevant and important for investigators to actually go and have a look at, to investigate, to make sure and find out what happened and who's wrong, who's committed fraud and stuff like that. So this is the things that I packed up that was absolutely not correct, not right. Okay, so first they had the wrong date of when the hearing happened. Then the length of time, March, April, May. That's a very long time for the judge to make a judgment. So the other thing I found a concern, and we're talking about documents on paper, is, I'll just go through it. Judge was the only one that actually had, this judgment also had the only document of evidence where the judge had actually read the notice of objection for order to strike out on the 9th of February. So I had made an order of objection because the council's had contested my application, and I contested it by doing this. Okay, because I'm asking for the judge to make an order to strike out the council's application and to make an order of liability because they had no evidence. So this is what happened. But the fact that the judge had actually written it down, it tells me that the judge has actually read it, the evidence. Okay. The other thing I found, see here, there's just evidence here. She's actually going off the 4th of July 2016 statement of claim. So I was, so she's basically highlighted and wrote down all the names of the defendant for this matter. So keep in mind, this hearing is 2017, which is quite a while back now. All right. But this was listed on the first statement of claim of all the defendants listed as an individual. There are actually video clips on my YouTube channel specifically on the Ministry of Health. Okay, so these are all the doctors' names listed on this, that the claim is against. But I did ended up amending it to a statement of just naming the corporate bodies instead of the individual as advised by the court registrar at the time. So I'm just going to I don't want to keep this video clip because everything's on my YouTube channel. I don't really need to carry on, repeat all this. But here we've got the Waitemata District Health Board. So there was a name of who is liable for the case, for the damages, because they've been sued. Okay, at this point in time, I had actually sued them $200,000, but that all changed as the years went by because of everything they'd put me through. And rightly so, I'm entitled to that. But now this case is actually falls in the category of $10 million each for corporate body because of the crimes that's committed. But I've actually ended up suing Ministry of Health $1 million for every year. Okay, that is what I've sued them because of what they've put me through, and everything. And then, so this is the name of the. There was a question around who is liable and the name of the party, so that was part of it. Okay, so also you can see that the judge had clearly written here that I had gone here to this place, Waitemata District Board Health Board, for the purpose of renewing my medical certificate for WINS. Okay, I wasn't referred to have an assessment because I was mentally ill or anything like that. I was told by my doctor that I had to go there to go and renew my medical certificate for WINS, otherwise they can't renew it. And while I was there, they assessed me. Okay, so that is a purpose why I went there on the 4th of February 2016. So judge has noted that in her judgment. But when I went there, they used the act on me, and then they locked me up for 5 days. So that is why I am suing them, because they have unlawfully detained me, used the Mental Health Act on me without any medical evidence. One word on somebody's medical record does not qualify the use of the Mental Health Act. Okay, that is not what the Mental Health Act is. And in my country, to use the Mental Health Act for a wrong reason is a criminal offence. Okay, I keep in mind, I used to take these kind of cases to do with the Mental Health Act with my experience. So I was traumatized by this whole incident. They enforced the order on me. All the evidence is actually in court. The evidence is on my YouTube channel. But this is evidence to prove that this is the reason why I went there on this day. However, they did use the act on me. And then when other people go and do their unlawful investigation into my private life, they think that I'm mentally impaired because of this incident, that I can now prove everything was intentional and part of demolishing a human being and a cover-up of years of abuse, years of corruption, and people stealing from me while I was working for my employer. Right? So this here, if you're interested in criminology, these are the kind of things that you can't really interpret accurately unless you're experienced, or I'm the victim in this case. So I'm actually reliving the facts of what actually happened. All right. How can they get evidence to prove that physically? Easy. They just have to summons everybody in, and then they have to investigate. And if they've deleted stuff, they can be done for deleting evidence, because that's illegal. You're not allowed to do stuff like that. So here's also the evidence here on the 4th, on the same day. They arrested me the same evening, and that's what happened. Okay, there are witnesses to all that. So what happens here is, in my case, because it's a criminal case, everyone gets summons. But what's happened to me has been absolutely dangerous. I'm secretly exploited. So, they're doing all these private, whatever they want to call it, but it endangers everyone who are victims or witnesses to what's happened, because they don't know that this is even taking place. Okay, if you can understand what I'm trying to say. So this is the names, or I even had a list of names of all the nurses. So if they've deleted everything back then, it's easy for the proper investigation to find out the names of all these people. I know some people have bad memories. Some people maybe, left the country, whatever, but the facts are true. Okay, that is sufficient enough to make an order or to know that it is a criminal case. So I'll just quickly this here was judged on the 9th of February 2016. Judge McHardy was there, and they released me because they had no evidence. Okay? So I can now say that they actually used the Mental Health Act to ruin my reputation, so nobody will believe me. And then, what they've done to me secretly when I go out public, people are abusing me, ridiculing me, and trying to make me commit suicide. It's just been horrific. That's what they've done to me. But here, this is evidence that a court hearing did take place on the 9th of February 2016. All right. Dr. John Joseph, he also he recorded what happened in court, what happened at the meeting on the 4th of February 2016. But I asked for a transcript of what he had, and he had dated his transcript a different date. Okay, so that's fraud on its own. It's not human error when there's a consistency of mistakes. Okay, these people get paid a lot of money not to make a mistake, but these are the kind of things that took place, and I believe that's why I won my case also, was because he had put in the wrong date. It was quite clear that the judge believed me just by the way she wrote her. Like I won against them. Okay, and he was actually the psychiatrist, but as you can hear at the hearing, the conversation itself, that was consented by all of us. He had no evidence, and I felt he was putting words in my mouth. And then I also found out during all this processes, they had actually accessed my medical records without my permission, because you're not allowed to even do that. That's how strict the laws are. No one is actually allowed to actually just retrieve somebody's information and then they just do what they have done to me. So what they have done to me, everyone has just helped themselves to my personal profile and interpreted it, and that's what's happened. And now that's why I'm suing them and pressing criminal charges, because I'm within my right to do that. So I'll nearly finish this because this has gone over. This is also confirmation that the judge has written the other statement of claim. See, she's written here, the defendants are listed Ministry of Health and City Med. So this is the reason why I said no to the Court of Appeal and Supreme Court. I am not going to change the names of the parties because they were telling me to, because I paid $75. It went through the court process, and it was definitely the names for Ministry of Health and City Med as the party. So now the corporate body is being charged with the crimes. Okay, so this is all sufficient evidence. And if the judges were all getting this information, these are the kind of things they will look at to verify who is telling the truth. This is how a judge would actually verify the merits of a case. The court registrar or the case officer is responsible that the judges get all the right or the relevant information, so then the judge can make an order, the correct order. The whole idea is to make sure that the judge doesn't make unlawful strikes, because it's serious. You were dealing with somebody's liberty, and this is what's happened. Okay. And on this whole judgment, I won't go over it, because if you want to have a look at it, it's on my YouTube channel. Everything's explained there. The other thing I had found, there's a reason why I highlighted here. But Judge Chalice was, a lot of things she's done really well, but there was just, these are the core issues that I feel that it needs to be addressed. The other thing people don't realize is that there are separate people doing the scheduling. Okay, so there's a scheduling system in the courts where another person is scheduling the judges to cases or scheduling who is the case officer. All right, so I have a feeling that some of the judges have been set up in my case, like they've put new judges. That's how I feel. I'm not going to justify anything for everybody. The thing is, when somebody's in trouble with with the law, that they have to come up with their own defense. But I'm saying from my point of view, that they've put different judges in every single case historically. Different people handling, so in the end I feel like everyone knows my business, and then they're not only different people. I have felt that my information has not gone to where I thought it may be. I have felt it has gone elsewhere. I just have felt that's been my suspicion, that people were actually stealing my documentations in the middle, explaining that's why exhibits missing and documents missing, all that kind of thing. And then it goes into the court. Nobody in court actually handles it. Like, nothing about me has been confidential. So I'm just going to quickly go through this, and I'm nearly finished with this. See, the judge here has noted about the mental health assessment. This is the reason why I was suing the other doctors, because of the information they put there. Judges actually mentioned and confirmed mostly everything on this judgment, whereas the other judgments, there's no evidence of all the hard work that I put together for the judge to actually write a judgment that like what I'm saying is the judge has not. Most of the judgments, the unlawful strikes, the judges have not confirmed that they've actually read any evidence. Okay, so all the evidence I've worked hard and put together, I have no idea where it's gone to, but the judge has not confirmed. And it's most of the judgments, the judge has not confirmed they've cited any of the evidence. In fact, I think if they actually had cited the evidence, they would have chucked it to the criminal jurisdiction. I don't know. I'm not sticking up for anyone, but this is the centralized court system. So I'm just going to carry on. There was something else. I'm nearly finished with this because I don't want to keep this clip long. Okay. So you hear over here, point 55 of judge's judgment, the judge has actually told the defendants that they have to file an amended state of defense, and they had 20 days thereafter to do that. They didn't do that. Okay, councils didn't do anything Judge had asked. So this here is on Judge Chalice's thing. The other thing I have found, that this here too, I wasn't sure where Judge got this bit here where she said Mr. Watt responsibly submitted. I don't know who is Mr. Watt, but she said Mr. Watt responsibly submitted that defendants are not seeking an award. So, because there was no Mr. Watt in the hearing. Okay, I don't know where that came from, Mr. Watt, because the only people that was at the hearing was Paul White and Hannah Stewart. Okay, so these are the kind of things that no one else would actually pick up, but I can confirm there was no Mr. Watt at the hearing. So I will leave it at that for this one. So it was Judge was the only one that actually signed it. All right. The other thing, see here it is, Judge Chalice, she was at the district court, but all the other judgments, I don't think they were signed. The other suspicion I've had is that I have felt somebody else has typed the judge's judgments. I don't know, because things just did not make sense to me after everything I'd submitted. So the people that were the actual court registrars that were involved in this time frame were, there were heaps of them. Okay, so I'm just going to feel there was Steve McHugh here. I'm just going to go through the emails. There was Heidi Schumann here. She was a service manager. I mean, there was a lot of people who knew about this case, and I just, honest to God, I just didn't understand why they were doing. The other thing I have found is that sometimes they block me. So I'm corresponding with them, and then they block you. Okay, so see how I was having a conversation with Steve McHugh and Heidi right here. And as you can see, we're having this conversation here. And I'm complaining in between about what's happening to my case, because I didn't understand, and wanting confirmation about my documents, but then they blocked me. Okay, so this has been an ongoing issue. They're giving misleading information, and then they block me. Okay, so this is what's happened. So this person here is not another person. See, they're making me send all my documents to the hub desk. So there's a lot of people handling my case. And then we've got Lyle Newman here. Okay. And he is also a deputy registrar. Here he is. And so this is what, all these people, they can be investigated. But this is, see how I was having conversation with him. No, he didn't block me. No, he didn't block me. But some people, I don't know how that happens, but sometimes they block you. That shouldn't even be happening. So here, see, also you got the hub desk. Now the hub desk one, there's no, like when they send out their email, they sometimes don't even give a name. They just give the hub desk, so you don't even know who's picking up your documents. This is people's private, real life documents. This is their personal property, their entity, their existence, and when you send it to these hub desks, they don't respond, and you're giving them all your private information, and then nothing comes out of it, and it's like they're not responding. I go out, I'm being criminally harassed by people I don't even know, and I just feel like I can't go forward or anything. So this person here was also like this. There was heaps of them who managed my cases, heaps of them. There's another person here. they keep putting different people, receiving my documents. Okay, so the confidentiality of my case is not there. This is this evidence of an exploited person, an exploited individual, and an exploited file. And it's also a confirmation why a lot of people are dead. Okay, not from my doing. This is the system. So this is another person here. She is, see, they had different people all the time. No one has actually case managed my anything about me privately. Okay, everyone is in on it. Okay, there was a time there that I put in some documents, and then they sat at the Auckland District Court for 101 days. But it's all part of the demolition of a human being. And then they are tagging me and inciting and coding me on TV. That is my finding, and that's why I've put what I've put on my YouTube channel, which is absolutely, not on my Facebook page. Okay, so everything is criminal. It's a criminal matter. Okay, so I'm gonna just leave it at that. And then I'll finish this now. And I will do a clip on the judiciary review because I think that's important. But I think I've submitted sufficient evidence for this one. So I'll talk to you. I'll put the next clip up soon. Got a bit of a tight schedule. But yeah. Okay.